Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty mind-bending from Anubhav Srivastava's book, Nothing, Everything.
That's right.
Specifically, how quantum mechanics basically forces us to pick a definition of reality.
Yeah, it's a real fork in the road.
It really is, like a civil war between two huge ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The Copenhagen Interpretation.
The standard view, more or less.
And the Many Worlds Interpretation, or MWI.
And our goal today, for you listening, is to really get a handle on the key differences. What makes these two views of reality fundamentally distinct?
Right. Are we collapsing possibilities with a look, or is everything happening?
That's the core of it, deconstructing that choice.
Okay, so let's start with the central piece, the wave function. Before we talk about collapsing or splitting, what exactly is it describing? Can we ground that a bit?
Sure. Think of it as basically a mathematical recipe for all the possibilities of a quantum particle.
Yeah.
You know, where it could be, what its spin might be.
Like its potential states.
Exactly. And crucially, before measurement, it exists in superposition, which means, bizarrely, it's kind of doing all those things at once. Spin up and spin down, for example.
Okay, so it's this cloud of potential. How do Copenhagen and many worlds deal with that cloud when we, say, measure the particle?
Well, Copenhagen, the established view, has a dramatic answer. The moment you measure it, the wave function collapses.
It collapses.
Yeah, like poof, all those other possibilities just vanish instantly. You're left with only the single reality, the single outcome that you actually observed, one definite result.
So MWI must reject that collapse then?
Yeah.
It has to.
It absolutely does. And this is where MWI gets, well, philosophically wild. It says the wave function never collapses, ever.
Never. So what happens in measurement?
Instead of collapsing, the measurement causes the entire universe to sort of branch, split. If the particle could be spin up or spin down, 50-50 chance. The universe splits into two parallel versions. One where it's up, one where it's down. Both happen. Always.
Whoa. Okay, that immediately makes me think about the observer. Me. If I measure something, am I causing the universe to split?
That's the next massive difference. Copenhagen puts the observer, maybe even consciousness itself, right at the heart of things.
So the observer is essential in Copenhagen.
Absolutely essential. The act of observation somehow is what triggers the collapse and forces reality to choose.
And MWI, where does the observer fit in there?
MWI says the observer is not special. You're just another quantum system made of particles obeying the same rules.
So when the universe splits?
You split too. There's now a version of you in the spin-up universe and another version of you in the spin-down universe, each experiencing their own outcome.
That feels like an enormous cost. Like infinite universes just popping into existence constantly.
It's a huge philosophical hurdle for many people, which leads us to predictability. If everything splits, do probabilities even mean anything?
Yeah, what happens to predicting outcomes?
Well, Copenhagen is fundamentally non-deterministic, right? Before the collapse, you only have probabilities. You cannot know for sure which reality you will end up in. It's random chance.
Okay, pure chance from my observation.
MWI, on the other hand, is actually deterministic in the long run for the whole multiverse, because every single possible outcome, no matter how unlikely, does happen in some branch.
So everything is guaranteed to occur somewhere.
Exactly. The system as a whole evolves predictably according to the math, realizing all possibilities. It solves the measurement problem, but the price is, well, infinite realities.
That is just staggering. And I guess that's why critics hit MWI so hard, saying you can't test it, right? It's not falsifiable.
That's the main scientific objection. How do you verify universes you can't interact with? So you have this trade-off. Copenhagen's observer problem versus MWI's, let's call it, philosophical extravagance.
And this contrast is where Srivastava's book, Nothing, Everything, really picks things up.
Precisely. It uses this fundamental conflict as a launch pad.
And it's worth pointing out, the Many Worlds interpretation aligns very, very closely with the theory layout in Nothing.
Everything. Very closely, yeah. Almost perfectly.
Almost.
And that little almost, that tiny philosophical tweak to MWI that Srivastava introduces.
Yeah?
Well, that's the really fascinating part about how an observer might navigate or perceive these splits.
Okay. A subject for next time, then.
Definitely. We'll dive into that specific twist in our next segment.
Perfect. But before we wrap up, here's something for you, the listener, to chew on. If MWI is right, and all outcomes happen in separate universes, and you are constantly splitting along with them, does probability for the you experiencing this single moment right now actually lose its meaning? Think about that.
Heavy stuff.
Indeed. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.